Hello, my beautiful crafty friends. It's Laurette, the Vintage Paper Girl. Welcome to my studio. Today, I have a tutorial for you. I don't do tutorials, but I got a number of requests for how did I make this file folder journal. You know, everyone wants to know, how did you make this? How did it get put together? I tried to explain it, but I think it's going to take me actually cutting, gluing right in front of you to figure it out. Now, I haven't finished this yet. As you know, I'm still in process of this progress because I've done other projects in between. I will be getting back to this and there will be more videos. Okay, so I've given you a little break from it so you'll be ready to see it again. Now, this is the file folder journal right here, and this is where the actual journal will go. These are the flips and flops on the front, and I'm going to show you how to make those and put them together. Now, I just realized I don't really have, let me see, let me grab some, I want to grab some paper strips to work with here to see, I've got a few that might work for that. Okay, because we have to have hinges, and depending upon what you're making, what your print is, what you're doing will depend on what your strips will be. So I'm gonna set that aside for a minute. So we are going to start, we're gonna go to the very basics. We're going to get some file folders. Now, I am using these from the Dollar Tree, and they're just a basic, cheapy. I actually like these better than the ones I got from Target. If you have, old ones are fine, inexpensive ones are good. I think we're going to need 2 full ones. All right. And these file folders they measure right around 11 3/4 or 12, depending upon if you're getting them from the fancy office supply or whatever. And they're about 9 1/4 this way and 11 3/4 this way. All right. So one of these is going to be your main file folder. Now you can pick whatever you want for where do you want this. So I think what I'm going to do, actually, because I have a full set here, usually I don't have a choice. Usually it's whatever's left over. I am going to get them from 2 different directions. And the first thing I'm going to do, normally what I do is I coffee dye, or if you don't want to coffee dye, then the very first thing we're going to do is we are going to ink. We're going to ink this little puppy. So this is the first thing you're going to do. For those of you who have never done this, brand new, there are a million different file folder versions out there. This is my version that I like to do. So I am going to ink all the edges because I want this to look old and yummy and pretty. And let me see. All right. I'm going to also just go a little bit on the inside. Not all this is going to fit in camera, so I'm going to do my best to get everything in there. Because sometimes you see the edges of this, so we just want to hit everything with a little bit of vintage photo or whatever color you like, or none at all. But if you're not going to do any, you might want to coffee dye it. You don't have to. If you don't want to coffee dye, you don't have the way to do it, the weather's not good enough, then use your inks and just hit it all over. You can do it with this. You can take a big, let me get a big one, a big brush. Oh, but before I do that, I know what I need to do. Okay, let me get it on here. Okay. And then take and just go all over your file folder, right? Because you want to get it looking old. We want this to look old because the paper I may use with this, if I decide to do another one of these, and you're going to do front and back because this is going to get folded and used on all sides. I forgot I have to do the back of this. So this is giving me a good... This is a craft and chat. It's a tutorial, but it's not because I don't do tutorials very well. If I did, this would have already been inked, but as you know, I do it from scratch. So I'm just going to show you how I make it. I want to age this up because I don't have time to coffee dye. It's winter. Even though we're getting nice weather, it's probably not good enough to dry anything right now. All right, so this is our base here. This is going to be what we are going to use. Now, normally I would take and stitch this on my sewing machine with a zigzag. But if you don't have a sewing machine, then all you need to do is to get out your glue. And we are going to, let's see, did I? Yeah, I did. Okay. I want to make sure before I do it. Where did my craft mat go? Let me put that down. I'm liking this new craft mat. It's pretty cool. All right, let's put this down. Keep the glue off of everyone and everything. So we're going to take, and if you're not going to stitch, you're going to take your glue. Maybe. You can use PVA, whatever you like. Glue. I, of course, use the art glitter glue. Or I do Fabri-Tac. And you're just going to run a bead down the side, but make sure you get enough glue. I would do 2 strands side by side. Ugh. There's a little bit of a shadow right now. I'm having trouble seeing what I'm doing. I would get a couple rows of glue. Make sure you get enough. Fold it up the side. Okay. Get out your backside of a pair of scissors. If you don't have a bone folder, it could be a ruler. You can use your scissor edge, for those of you who are new, just to make sure that that glue is going to adhere to the paper. Okay. Now, once you're sure it's dry, you can decide, do you want to have your pocket on the outside or on the inside of your journal? And do you want this fold here, or do you want it back there? Where do you want to have it? So I think for this next one, I think I'm going to go with a file folder. Now you can use your scoreboard if you would like to score down the middle of this to get a better fold, which is what I should be doing, I'm sure. Give it a good burnish. Fold it and burnish it. You can use your scissor handle, or you can use something like this. Okay. There we go. What did I get all over there? Huh, that was funny. You're going to be covering this with paper, so don't worry about it too much. You just want to give it some age. All right, so now you have your base. Your base is done. Set that aside for a minute. So that would be the same as this coffee dyed one right here. Okay, so it's done. It's ready to go. Now, this is the part that everybody seems really confused about. So we are going to take our big paper trimmer. If you've got one that will fit this, that's great. I don't think this would fit in my 8-inch because it's too tall. So if this is, okay, this is 12. I mean, it's not quite 12. It's 11 and a half. 10 and 10 is 11. Oh my gosh, guys, I don't know. Would have been good if I did this, but I'm doing this in a hurry because I've got so many other things to do. I just can't be. Okay, so I'm going to just make it a little under 6. I'm going to cut it off. Okay, so now we have 2 separate pieces to play with, right? Now, if you are wanting this little file folder notch here on everything, then you would cut one more. You could do a 3rd one. If you don't mind just having this, you can use that one, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute. All right, now we have our base. We have this one. And we are going to, ooh, it's a little wide, so I'm going to cut it a bit more. Probably 6 would have been fine, I think. Cut it at 6 maybe, or just a little, like 1 line before the 6 to make it fit inside our, because we want it to be the same width as the file folder we have already folded. All right. Now I want my file folder to open this way for my journal because it's going to go in here. So we're going to do that. Now we have this one here. We have this one. Okay. What we're trying to get to, I have it here with me. Yep. Is one of these. Okay. Folds down. But we also want to fold out. So got these. Now what we're going to want to do with this one is we are going to take our corner rounder, whatever kind you have, and just round any harsh corners that you have. There we go. There, that's going to give you a better top, give you some more pretties to look at, you know, some interest. When you go to make this, you may want to trim these two and make them round as well. But it's up to you how you want your bottom. But for right now, we're going to do this. Okay, now we have this one is ready to go. And we're going to take, where did my inky pad go? Oh, I can't see everything. This paper cutter's big. I'm going to move this down for a minute. I'm going to lock it down so I don't lose a finger. Or slice the top of my hand. I saw one of my buddies slice the top of her hand recently. Yikes, with her paper cutter. Those things are deadly. So then we're going to go along and we are going to ink this one so that these edges match the other one. You're going to be covering these with paper, so you probably don't have to do too much on the inside. Just depends if you're going to cover or not. But I am going to go ahead and just hit all the edges because this is part of the tutorial. I'm going to fold it and do that. I'm going to get this side. I'm not being particularly careful because I do know I'm going to put papers on here. We're going to do two sides of everything. Everything's going to be as neat or messy as you want. I'm being messy because this is just a sample for me. And I may or may not use it. I might use it. I'm thinking about making another one. I actually have a really cool idea for one. Alrighty, so that's ready. So now we have what's going to go on the front here. And this is the one that is going to fold down, you see, like this. And then we also need one that's going to fold. So this comes down. We also want one that's going to fold out. So that's why we have another one of these. And we want to fold this out. Now this is, do you want one more little goodie at the top, or do you want to just leave it like this? You could just round these. I think I'm going to round these. I've got to decide how high do I want this. Hold on. I'm thinking I want the tall one in the back. So I think I'm going to take my rounder. There we go. And I'm going to cut this. You could rip it, but I'm going to cut it. Now, keep in mind, I made these bases a long time ago, so it's been a while since I've made one. I'm doing my best to give you guys a good little, here's how I think I did it. I don't remember, honestly, so this is how I would do it now, how I am doing it now. All right, and again, I am going to... Now, you have a scrap piece, right? We have this left over. You can either use it as your joints or your just lost the word, sorry guys, your hinge. You can either use the bits and pieces left over for your hinge, or you can use another piece of paper. I grabbed coffee dyed paper and I grabbed some other file folder pieces to create my hinges, because now we need to hinge everything together, right? You can, as you're covering, make your hinges. But for right now, I'm just going to make base hinges. So here we are. We need to hinge this out. So I just have to decide which way I want it to go. I want it to hinge there. Or do I want it to hinge there? I want it there. you do need to, before you hinge, you do need to ink, because once you hinge, you can't go, it's hard to get back in there to ink. So get that done. All right. So now I want to hinge this. Now I can use coffee dyed paper. I can use some cardstock that is, what do you want to call this? What's this called? Parchment cardstock. Or I don't know what this is, something that I had left over from a project that I could use as a hinge. Or again, like I said, you can use the hinges from here. That way everything is the same. But sometimes this is a little too heavy for your hinge. It depends on what you want to make this. So I think what I'm going to do, instead of wasting anything, I mean, yes, I can use this in another, but I think I'll go ahead and make my hinges from that. And I think I'm going to make my hinges about 1.5 inches wide. I'm going to get down here. I think 1.5 inches is plenty. Yeah, that's a plenty wide. And I'm going to need, let's see, I need a hinge to hinge here. I'm going to need something to hinge down here. And I'm going to need one over there. So I'm going to need a couple. Wouldn't hurt to cut 3. If I only use 2, that's fine, right? Better to have too many than not enough. And we'll cut one more. Okay, let's go like that. We've got 3. Alrighty. Okay, now, one thing we want to do, and I don't know if my little, I don't think it's long enough. No, it's not long enough. I was hoping my little scoreboard was long enough, but it's not. So let me go to the big scoreboard. Now, this is where having a scoreboard is kind of fun, because you can cut your, at 1.5 inches, you want, I want to say an inch would be a half of the quarter. So it's 3/4 of an inch. So we're going to hinge that at 3/4 or somewhere around there. It doesn't have to be perfect. All right, let's do that. And one more. Okay, somewhere around there. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just pick something for your hinge. And then we want to go ahead and we'll cut these to fit as soon as we know what that's going to be. Give it a good burnish. Alrighty, let's go like this. Okay, here we go. We're going to do some gluing in a minute, and we will be all set. All right, so the first one, like I said, decide where you want this to go. Do you want it to match that side? Do you want it to be over there? Where do you want to have it? Because it's going to be attached to this one right here. It can be shorter. You can cut it down. You can add another top on it, just whatever you want. So I'm going to, let me take a peek here. I want this to be on the front of this, but it's going to have to match the length of this. So I'm going to put my hinge, and you're going to cover this hinge up with your papers when you cover this. So I would say just eyeball it. Give yourself a little pencil mark. Let me see, what time do we have? I want to see what time. All right, let's go like this. I'm just going to use scissors to cut this. There we go. Perfect. Doesn't have to be right to the bottom. You just, because you're going to cover up your hinge for sure. So I've chosen this. So this is going to be my cover piece. We're going to open it like this. Okay. So now I am going to go through and just give this a quick ink on both sides, because this part may still show. So we want to make sure that if it does show, if you're not doing any inking, don't worry about it. You can skip this whole step. Okay, but I'm an inker, so I'm going to, and I know a lot of my friends here do a lot of inking as well. But not everybody does, not everyone prefers it. You could, if you're working with contemporary papers, because you can do this for any paper, you're not going to do that. Now you want to make sure that the spine of this is right on your edge, okay? And then you're going to put this one on. So try not to glue it to this one. I probably should pull it out. Let me clear off some stuff here so we can do our thing. I am going to use my art glitter glue. Oh, maybe I am. I don't know. It's this big bottle that I have that seems to be, I'm getting a pin. It seems to be the one that's been giving me fits. It keeps like getting all jelly inside. And I don't know what's up with that. So let me go like this. Oh, good. The air conditioner just came on. It's a very warm day here today. Well, at least in my studio. So the air's on a little bit. Probably not so bad outside. There might be a coolness outside, but not in a 2-story house where all the heat rises. So, all right. I'm going to have to pick this up a little bit, you guys, because I have to see this. So I'm going to get it not to the very, very bottom because we want to have room to open and close. And we're going to go like that. I'm going to get my little cloth and wipe up any glue that has escaped. Make it sure it's dead on the end here. Give it a good burnish. All right, now we're ready to add our page, that single page we cut. I keep wanting to do it on that side, so I'm having a feeling that that is, but if I open it, I think later this edge is going to cause me a problem, so I really think I'm going to put it there. But covering the page, I don't know. Either one works. It doesn't matter. All right, I'm being fussy. Okay, so let's get plenty of glue right here. Let's go all the way down and go up. Make sure we get plenty of glue on there. Plenty, 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 because this is a joint. We want it to, not a joint, but the joint. Yeah, no bad words. No drugs, no nothing. This is a clean channel. Okay, so we're going to put this down. Try to get it right to the edge. You're going to have to be as close to it as you can to make sure that everything lines up. Okay, you're hinged now. You guys were wondering, how do you do that? Well, there it is. And then I covered that with paper and that with paper, and you never ever see your hinge. You never see it. It's gone. No one will ever see it but you. You are the only one who'll know it was there. Let me go. And then I would go back and kind of give everything a little ink. Make sure it still opens like you want it to. You have this. See how nice that is? Then this back piece, you're going to adhere to your main piece here. Now, this is totally preference. If you wanted this to open this way, the opposite way, you could. If you wanted to put your hinge over here, this is just how the one I made on the video, I did it so it opened like that, and it opened like this. Then you can decide, do you want it to open out this way, and then this open this way, or do you want it to open out this way and that way? But I want mine to open the opposite way so that you're doing a lot of opening. I think it's a lot of fun to do that. Now, at this point, last time, I took and I added, before you put this on here, this is the time to decide, do you want to add anything here? Do you want to add any envelopes? Do you want to add another file folder piece? Do you want to add any folded paper? Last time I folded up some paper and made pockets. So if you want to add some flip out pockets or some junk mail envelopes, this would be the time to do it. I'm looking around to see what I have that I could show you that we could do. I have some envelopes. Let me show you. This is a envelope I got. As you can see, it's used, but I could put it, this would be the time before we do anything else to put this on. I can put it around it. I can put it on this side, put it on there so that it flips out, and then this flips out. It just depends on what do you want yours to do, because then that gives us a nice big envelope right there, or a couple of envelopes. You could add 2 envelopes right here. This is your time to add anything extra. But last time I really wanted it to be all about the file folder. I did not want it to be about a bunch of junk mail envelopes, you know. I didn't want it to be a junk mail envelope with like million flips and flaps from the junk mail. I really wanted it to be all about a file folder journal. It wasn't somebody else's, it wasn't anything else, it was just a file folder journal. I'm looking to see if I have other new envelopes that maybe, oh I do, but they're in silver. I don't think I want any silver in there. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to put in this journal yet, so I really don't want to add anything funky. I mean, I want to do white. I really want to keep it very, this is where your flips and flaps are. Before you put on your final piece, you're going to add whatever you're going to add. So if I want dark pieces, this would be my time right here. I want to add any pieces. So maybe these 2 flip up, then we add this and it goes that way. So I think for this one, last time I added, this is what I did last time. I put 2 envelopes together, put it here, and it gave me a double fold like this. Okay, gave me double pockets. So this time, maybe I will want to put these on. You can either wrap them around the back and cover them back here. See how they are? And then you're going to cover this whole thing. Or you can put them on your front and you're covering with a piece of paper right here, which is what I did last time. So whatever you're going to do, make your decision right now where you're going to put them. If I'm going to put these in the front here, I don't have to worry about adding them on now. So I think I'm going to keep it just file folder for the moment, and I'm going to add on my last little hinge. Okay, so here's another hinge. We've got a couple of them. I cut extra just in case I wanted to add some more file folder. Now you can just keep adding on more and more file folder pieces if you want to keep it all file folder. I noticed that one ripped. I think this one's okay, but the other one had a tear in it. Isn't that weird? Well, they are Dollar Tree. I guess I shouldn't expect too much. So I'm gonna ink both sides of my file folder here. A little hinge. And I think I may see this when we open it, so I do want to, I didn't do that on the other one. Later I'll be kicking myself going, why didn't I ink that? You should never see this side, so I think we'll be okay if we do this. Alrighty. Again, I'm using Vintage Photo Distress ink for those of you who are new. And again, we're going to adhere this to the same side. So this opens, this comes down, this opens, okay? This is exactly how my journal is made. This opens, this comes down, this closes, this opens, okay? So that's exactly how we're making this one, exactly like the way I made it, nothing different. Again, we're going to glue this on just like we did the last one. Super duper easy. This is going to take you like, I don't know, maybe a half hour to assemble this. And then after that, you just start covering everything. And you could still add plenty of things to this middle piece here. Oh, you guys, I just realized I didn't cut it down. So I could still do that though. If you forget, it's no biggie. We just wipe off the glue. And make sure this is all even. You don't want it hanging over. Close the bottle. Let me do this. Okay, and let me cut off this end that we don't need. Being very careful not to cut your file folder, because otherwise you're gonna cut your file folder open. All right. Now we have put this hinge on this main file folder that is going to be your journal cover. All right. And now we're going to add this lovely little piece that we've added all these goodies on to this one. Okay, right here. We're going to take and we're going to add that to that hinge. This is how I like to make these. They're a lot of fun. You can keep adding more and more things. Like I said, you can go back and add your junk mail. Just get your base done. Then you can add any flips or flaps you want. Once you've learned to make the base, then you'll get ideas to make others, because you can just do endless, endless, endless varieties of these. Be careful. Double check. Where do you want it? I want all my hinges on the same side. See, I did do that, right? Yep. I was double checking to make sure. Make sure all the bottoms are lined up. If you need to open that to fix it, to make sure it's right, do so. All right, let me double check the inside of this. I'm getting ink everywhere. Oh my goodness, you guys, this is crazy. This is hard to maneuver this when you're doing this on a video. It's not so bad when you're by yourself in your craft room, but you're trying to get this to where you guys can see it and make it work. Okay, it looks like I got everything. Let me go like this. I hope this was not confusing. If it was, I can't make it any simpler. I'm sorry. This is as simple as I know how to get it. You have that first one we put on, close it, it's attached to that one, close it. Now that whole thing is attached to the actual file folder, and this is where your journal will go. Your journal pages will go there. Okay, and there you have it. Let me see what time. I have about another 20 minutes. I don't know, guys, should we do any more or just stop right here? I'm really wondering. All right, I am thinking that I am going to, okay, so this is it. This is what you guys have asked me for. This is the foundation for this. I put a piece of paper on there. That's just because I attached that to there. Attach this piece of paper. I folded it and put it there. I made double doors. Then you open it. You go back here. Well, this is an extra because I added this piece to this, but the base of this is this, and then it opens here, okay? But when you hold this down, you'll see, remember I told you that I had this double pocket right here? Let me stick that in there for a minute. I have this double pocket. I've got some envelopes to do that with. I did this with just some folded coffee dyed paper. It was something I added in extra, but it's not the base of this project. So we have our base, we open, we drop down, we open, and then we open. Okay, so now I can at this time, which I think I will, I'm going to add the extras. This is not the base. This is where you start getting creative on your own. I like this. I'm going to be covering this envelope. You will never see that, thankful. No one will ever know it's there. And I'm thinking that I want to attach both of these. I have a kit. It's a very special kit. It's called Very French Country. It is not out. It is not in any shops. This is something Jolene made just for me. But I am thinking I want to, let's see, I'm going to use this kit to cover. It's got a lot of ephemera, a lot of papers that are, these are just specifically for me, and make one with this. So I'm looking to see how dark an image do I want to use here. So yes, that will work. I want to make sure that that image is, that paper isn't too dark for me to use. So I am thinking that I'm going to glue this on here, and we use it just like any other hinge. I'm going to glue this down. I don't feel like I need all of this to glue down. It's crazy. So I am just going to cut, you know, that makes a cool little thing. pocket. Wait, where am I? I'm lost. Oh, there I am. Okay. No, where am I? It's easy to get lost, you guys. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. And the thing is, do I want to do them both on the same side again? No, I think I'm going to do one from each side. I'll glue this one first. Like I said, you can use art glitter glue, whatever you want. I wanted a fast glue, which art glitter dries in seconds. PVA takes a lot longer. High tack or fast tack, those might go quicker. I don't really know. I don't use those glues, so I don't know. But I'm going to make it fit here to the best of my ability. I am going to keep it a little bit away from the edge. I don't want it right on the edge, and I don't want it right on this edge either, because I need to be able to close this easily, right? So, and then on this one, again, I'm going to cut that pocket down. I don't feel like I need that whole thing. And I'm going to fill this with I'm just squirting the glue everywhere. I'm not being particularly neat or tidy. Okay, I'm going to open this. And again, I'm going to put it on the edge. Can't really guide too much. I'm going to try to put it in the center of that other brown one. That way they kind of cover each other up nicely. I'm going to make sure it's not right on the very edge. I'm going to push it in a little bit. And there we go. The other thing I think I'm going to do is I did just cut that piece off. I'm thinking, oh, it won't quite cover. Oh, it does. Okay, I'm actually going to cover that so that writing doesn't come through on any papers that I have. Where did I just have it? Did I have it going that way? Yeah, I did. Okay, I wanted to cover up that writing. That was a piece of the envelope. So, and it shouldn't be too, it's not bulky. It's very flat. It should be okay. That will give me the coverage I need. So that word is covered up. And I've just added the extras. So I've added this one and this one. These will get covered, but they'll still be pockets. So I'm going to burnish this down, make sure everything's good and tidy. I'm going to burnish this down. And then what I would do is I would cover this with paper and these with paper. So, and then these would become pockets. Cut them open on the end, on the top, on the side, somewhere to make them pockets. So there you have it. And I'm very excited because I think this is called Very French Country. And it's not, that's what Jolie named it for me, but it is not available in the shop. I'm going to say it again. It is not available in the shop. It's a Marie Antoinette inspired, but there's plenty of Marie Antoinette papers out there. So you don't have to, you know, there's a lot of kits out there, but this is just for me. So I'm going to be doing this piece probably in this journal, in this paper. So if there are a lot, and I mean a lot of requests for it, then we may consider putting it in the shop, but probably not till after I finish the journal. So, or as I'm working on it, we'll probably put it in. If only if there's a lot of requests, one or two, no, we probably won't. But if it's overwhelming and everyone says, oh my gosh, we want that, they see me working on it, really enjoy the papers, then, you know, we may build it into a full kit and put it in the shop. Because it's something that she made specifically for me to use. All the things that I love and use all the time. It kind of works with her pink kits and some other kits that are out there, so that she has. So, well, that's it, you guys. I hope this was helpful for you, and I wasn't too confusing. I am not good at tutorials, but hopefully it was enough for you to figure out how to do this one, at least the base. And if you wanted to add some pockets, now you know how to do that. You know where each thing goes. Just take it, play it, stop it, do that piece, start it again. Stop it, do that piece, start again. That's the best way for you to do this. And then you have your space for your journal right here. And if you like to stitch, do that before you do anything. Stitch all your pieces before you put it together. Then put it together. Don't do it after. You'll mess yourself up really badly, I promise. So, all right, everyone. Thank you very much for coming along and learning how to make the wonderful little file folder journal like I'm working on right now. I really appreciate you hanging out with me and wanting to know how to do this. I had quite a few requests, not just one. So once I get a number of requests for something, then I start thinking, okay, it's something you guys want to watch. I will go ahead and do either a tutorial or create a video for you. So thank you everyone for watching, for commenting, for subscribing. I love you all. I will see you all very soon. Hugs and kisses. Bye-bye.